Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to talk to you about Forza Horizon 5, a game I really like and that I think has a really weird relationship with its community. Now, I really like Forza Horizon 5 because it's basically Forza Horizon 4, but it does things better in places where Forza Horizon 4 already was good, but in the places where it doesn't shine, in the places where it doesn't work. It really doesn't work, and I mean that quite literally. Now, Forza Horizon 5 I've played since basically the pre-view version that was released if you bought the premium edition of the game. And I've played through basically every mission up to that point. I currently have over 800,000 accolade points, so I can say that I played the game a lot. I played about 150 hours of it already. And the thing with the game is that its developer, Playground Games, has a lot of weird issues that should have been fixed on launch, and it also has a really bad take on its own community. Now, the main issue here is that the game itself is not unplayable, but the problems it has makes it a lot less fun than it actually is. So, what exactly are these issues? Now, for once, the AI, it's extremely overtuned. Basically, you always have one or two races that are just way ahead of the rest of the group, and they just demolish everyone. It gets worse the higher you set the difficulty. Unbeatable drivers in this game are essentially just that, unbeatable. Now, it wouldn't be an issue if they would be just extremely hard, but people straight out confirmed this, that they defy physics, and this has been a known issue since apparently Forza Horizon 4. They just didn't bother to fix it. Now, the next thing is the accolades. That's something that I really am bugged about. Just like the accolades. Most accolades work fine. You do one thing with the car, like jump on a danger stand, then get to the next thing, and you get the accolade. Now, the main problem here is that some accolades straight up don't work. For instance, there are several ones, like the ones on screen right now, that basically say, for instance, use this car to jump this distance, and it's confirmed that it doesn't work. There's an official log on the website of the developers that certain danger signs, drift accolades, trail lasers, like, they just don't work. Then there's also one accolade which requires you to use a car that's not even in the game, and it's not one which is just like, oh, it's going to be unlocked through a season or anything else. No, it's just straight up not in the game. Now, the next thing is the Eliminator. Eliminator is borderline unplayable. There's invisible players, which is due to online things, which I'm going to get to in a bit, and hackers everywhere, which I'm also going to get to. And there's also the problem that if you honk to challenge someone, it just doesn't work. Sometimes it does. Sometimes you can't pick up a car from a car drop. There's just a lot of issues overall around. And it makes the achievements for the Eliminator really hard. Like, I've grinded for them. I've only got 2 wins so far. And 2 times I would have gotten the win, but an invisible player got it for me. One friend even said that someone just teleported next to him. And yeah. Another thing is that the online, which is the biggest problem, is extremely unstable. Playground Games already addressed this in some capacity. It's more reliable now. They basically took the system they had at Forza Horizon 4 and made it worse. I don't know how, but I don't know exactly how it's working now. I only read some stuff where it's basically, instead of having several instances, it's now basically like a fluid system, but it just doesn't work how it's supposed to. And the problem is especially notable in the Horizon Arcades, which they changed from being a server-announced hourly event in the previous cases, like in Forza Horizon 4, to I think on a 5-minute timer it was, event that is split into 2 events, and they even limited the timer. Instead of 15 minutes to complete it, you only have 10, and some of them are just nearly unachievable. For instance, you have mini missions where the game tells you, okay, reach a certain speed, jump a certain distance, and stuff like that. But the problem with that is that it takes about 20 seconds for each mission to be finished and show the next one on average, and it's impossible to complete it alone. And if you are in a group that does these, and one player does it like really fast, the other people can't see the challenge anymore. It just tells you you're done. So it doesn't count properly. And the issue is that most of the time you can't even complete a normal Horizon arcade, even if it wouldn't be for something like the mini missions, like even if it would be just a speed zone or wreckage ones. You can complete them. Like I've done, unironically, over 50 of them. It's in my game count. And I've probably done more than the game even didn't count, because I just couldn't finish round 1, because as soon as you get there, there's like 5-6 players. And you're like, hey, yeah, I can do this, finally. And then the game is just like, nope, fuck you, fuck everyone. Today we're gonna have a ghosting, and kicks everyone from the server. For no reason, it just does that. And it's really pissing people off. Like, if you go to the Horizon Reddit, it's filled. Like, I'm not a Reddit guy, but I looked through there just for some, advice with tuning and all that. And apparently that's a big problem there. Now, there's also technical issues behind the online stuff. I've been fine for the most part, but lately the game has been crashing almost every 2 hours for me for no reason. Like, not even straight up crashing, it's just freezing really, really bad. It just completely freezes, doesn't do anything, sound loops, and it's most certainly the game. It's the only game that does this for me, and I don't have a computer where I can say, oh, my computer's just too channeled now. It's a known problem that this game has a massive memory leak, and since the update, for some reason my GPU temperatures are through the roof. I have, since before the hotfix they released like a week ago, my frame rate was fine, my CPU temperatures were fine, my GPU temperatures were fine, my GPU was running at 60 degrees on maxed out settings. Now I just open the game and my fans just go wild, and the GPU goes up to 100 degrees Celsius. And that's just questionable. I don't know what they did, but they did something. It just didn't work. And the last thing is the relationship between Playground Games and its community. And this is a two-part thing, because you have a lot of people who legitimately enjoy the game and they just, want to do stuff in the game. You have a lot of people creating these so-called libraries, I don't know how it's pronounced, but they're basically the designs you see like in all the main pictures, and just general screenshots where there's like a car with an enemy girl on it, or a car that has like a really silly design. Those are made by players with a really, I wouldn't say rudimentary, but it's a very basic editor. And lately Forza has been very, very generous with how many people they ban. People have been banned for absolutely nothing. They don't get told why they get banned. They don't tell you the specific livery that gets you banned. They just ban you and just say, yeah, you did something we don't like. Too bad. And some of the biggest creators in the community have been banned because of that. They don't know why. And they've went to the official Discord, asked why they have been banned, where they've just basically been told, fuck you, the system doesn't make any mistakes. Go away. And not quite, they didn't quite literally say that, but that's basically the gist of things. In some cases, people were just straight out banned from the server for just asking, like, why did I get banned? Like, what livery caused this? What rules did I go against? And they basically have no way to contact support because there's no official way otherwise. And through the forums, they just get ignored. And it's infuriating for these creators because apparently there have been tunes for cars, the adjustments of the brakes, of the roll bars and everything, that have been getting people banned, and they know because that's the only thing they uploaded, for profanity or nudity. And they're just like, how? And I don't get it myself either, because that makes no sense. Now, the other side is that Playground Games decides to fix everything except the important things. Now, for instance, the Accolades I mentioned earlier, you'd think that stuff like that would be tested And I'm not a programming genius, but for me, basically the danger signs, for instance, use all of the same code, and the accolades too. They're like, oh, this car got 3 stars at this achievement. But yeah, they just don't fix that. It takes them forever to do. They fix the online somewhat. It's better, but it's not good. It's better. That just means it was much worse early on. But the biggest problem they have is that they don't bother fixing game-breaking stuff. They just fix the stuff that is inconvenient to them. For instance, there was an exploit with the Willy Jeep, where basically people could get unlimited super wheel spins, which is basically the best way in the game to acquire new cars. But what did the first hotfix for Forza Horizon do? It somewhat fixed the online, left basically every other bug in, except a few very, very game-breaking ones, like not launching and all that. But they fixed the exploit of the Willy Jeep, which nobody asked for. And they also fixed the AFK racing, which nobody asked for either. I personally didn't use it, but I don't see the problem with using it, because it's not exploiting anything in the game. It's just making the game work itself. Like that's just using features that are in the game. It's not using them in an unintended way. It's literally just them not checking this stuff properly and just being like, this could be an issue. No, the auto-steering is there. And if Playground Games decides that they want to be stupid about this, then they're gonna be stupid about this. But I don't think it's a good choice, even with the Willy Jeep. What they could have just done with the Willy Jeep is make the Jeep more expensive, or maybe use the wheel spin up. But what they just straight up did is remove most of the cheap wheel spins from the game, the super wheel spins, just to tell people, fuck you, you have to spend more time in this game than you're supposed to. Which makes no sense, because you pay one price for the game and you can just get the game. You don't have to pay a subscription fee. Like, let people play how they want, as long as it's within the game's rules. Don't change the rules after they bought the game. That's just not okay. And that's about it. I really, really like the game. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I mean, I wouldn't have put 150 hours since release into this game with my friends if I wouldn't have fun with it. I love just jumping around with the cars in Mexico. I love creating designs for the cars. I just love the visuals and how certain cars sound and feel and look, most important of all. But if they don't fix these problems, that enjoyment will only go so far. And I'm just gonna go to a certain point where even if they release the DLCs, I'm gonna go, I don't want to play this just because it's not fun to play it online anymore. If they fix these issues, absolutely brilliant game. But as of right now, I'd still put it above most recent releases like Battlefield, Call of Duty and all that in terms of quality. But I would say know what you're getting into. Don't expect a masterpiece out of this. Expect a game that's very, very good, but it has really, really, really low moments. And that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video. So, see ya.